This question is called Shading a Venn Diagram with Two Sets, and we're looking at unions, intersections, and complements. So this question specifically asks us to shade B prime on the Venn diagram. But as you go through this one, you'll see three different versions where it says looking at unions or intersections or complements. So I'll actually talk about more than what's on here. And so, first of all, let's make sure we understand when we're looking at this diagram, this box, and I'm talking about this box right here with the little U labeled on it, that's considered the universal set. And then we've got sets A and B inside the universal set. And so they're represented by those two circles. And in this case, we're specifically asked about this B prime right here. And so we got to understand what B prime means when you see B prime. That's talking about the set of elements that are not in set B. So we focus on set B, which is right here. And so everything not inside set B. And so with the little shading tool, we look at shading everything outside that red circle. So we're talking about every part of the universal set. And it's doing some pretty colors on the shading. I didn't realize that was going to happen, but whatever. Every part of the set U that isn't inside B. So that's what you'd end up shading for B prime. That would represent B prime. I'm going to back up and if I can undo, there we go. If I can undo that just a little ways, then we'll say, all right, well, what if it said, B, sorry, I'll write that a little bit differently. If it said A intersect with B. So the intersection of A and B is just the elements that are in both A and B. So what are we talking about there? We're talking about just that overlapping portion. So that's the intersection. So that's both A and B. And when we see that upside down A, we think about the word and. That means both of those sets. And if we talk about the union, I can just scoot this down just a little bit. If we talk about the union of A and B, then that would talk about the elements that are in A or B or both. So in other words, we look at the combination of the two sets put together. So the union would be everything in A and everything in B, and make sure you're including things that are in both. So we're talking about everything inside the two circles, including the part that's in the overlapping section. So there's what the answer would look like if you had union of A and B. There's what the answer would look like if you had the intersection of A and B. And then we already saw B prime. And if it happened to show you A prime, then, oops, back up one more. The back up button. Oh, it's going to erase all this. Sometimes the eraser doesn't like to work on these things. Don't know why it's doing that. I can select it and delete it. So let's see what I'm going to say. Or if it said A prime, then A prime would look like like everything not in A. So A prime would be everything that is not in A. So you draw around the A circle and say everything not in A would be everything out here. And so there's A prime. So we've kind of covered all the different cases. It's just good to get plenty of practice with just understanding visually what this looks like using the shading tool.